Hello and welcome to another edition of the Get Growing Weekly Work Session with GetOiling. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of GetOiling, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We are also joined by Julie from our team. Hey, Julie.
Hi, everyone.
We are so excited to have you guys here today where we're going to talk about conversations, specifically the conversations you need to be having more of if you want more customers in your organization, if you want to grow your OGV, and maybe most importantly, if you want to do all of this without feeling weird or awkward or chasing your friends away. We're going to get into how to get that done today and how to use GetOiling to get it done as well. We are also going to be announcing our rose oil winner. We do this once a year. We have a promo during convention. You get to enter for free to win a bottle of rose oil. And we do have a winner to announce today. So maybe it's you, maybe you're on the call today. I'm very excited to have us announce that here in just a bit. I do have some training prepared for you guys. As you're coming in, head over into the chat. Let us know what you're excited to learn about this week. And maybe tell me in the chat how confident or comfortable you are on, say, a scale of 1 to 10 with reaching out and starting a conversation with someone new today. What does that look like for you here at the start of the call? My hope is that by the time we're done with today's training, you're going to walk away at 10, right? No matter where you are, Gail, I totally get it. Starting at a 2 is perfectly fine. If you aren't clear on what to say, it can feel really uncomfortable. But we've got a framework here. This is not a copy what I say, but very much a understand what the process is. So this is something that you really can make your own. So again, really excited to have you here today. Let's get into it, you guys. I'm going to pop out a video along with our panelists here, and we are going to hop into today's slides. Again, welcome. So excited to have you here today. If this is your first time, I want to encourage you to continue coming back. If you're watching this as a replay, I hope you'll join us live. We are live every Thursday at noon US Eastern Time every week, unless it is a federal holiday here in the US or if we are at convention. So again, welcome. This is a call for everyone who is a brand partner wanting to work smarter, not harder, to grow your Young Living business. We have something for you here every week. And of course, with GetOiling, we have everything that you need except the VO. We're everything all under one roof to manage your business. And the most important thing you can be managing in your business are your relationships that become your lifelong customers. So let's talk about that. Conversations that convert, how to connect and communicate to grow your brand partner business. So today we're going to talk about conversations that convert to sharing. We'll talk about how to have enough of those conversations, how to never drop the ball again with your conversations. We're going to share our rose oil winner. And as always, we're going to get into live help and Q&A. So if you have questions, please do go ahead and put those into the Q&A. This is an opportunity for us to work together live. So you are here today, whether you have questions about today's subject of discussion or not, this is an opportunity for you to get help here live. We do have other opportunities to work with folks if you are wanting to get some support here, but this is an opportunity to do that as well. So take advantage of that and get on our list if you're watching this as a replay. GetOiling.com/weekly work sessions, where you want to go if you would like to join us on one of these awesome live calls we host every single Thursday. Now, if you would like to work together on a call, like I believe we have one person signed up for here on today's call, I want to invite you to use this link to go whenever you want and sign up for a live review. Now, this doesn't have to be a website review. I know that that's kind of how we started it. Folks were creating their own websites, personal websites with GetOiling. This was an opportunity for us to create or to have reviews of those from a professional copywriter, from a design perspective, etc. But this is also an opportunity if you are just getting your bearings with all of this and you want to talk through what some things mean or what they mean to you and how you want to run your business. This is an opportunity for you as well. I hope you take advantage of it. And if you would like to hand off the work that you'd like to have done, whether that's your website, your systems, your branding, no matter what that looks like, go to getoiling.com/concierge to learn more about our incredible, talented team, all the happy people that they have helped And of course, find out how you can set up a no obligation call to get a quote and see what it might look like to get your project done with our team. Now, head on over, please, into the chat if you are here live, and be honest, there is no judgment. How many people have you shared Young Living with since convention? Whether you were there or not, you know there are new products, right? What does that look like for you? How many people have you shared with since convention? Head on over into the chat. Let us know. Ooh, okay. I don't know who you are, Zoom user. 10 to 15. Get it. Yes. That's awesome. All right. 1. Awesome. Great. 10 to 15 as well. Look at y'all. Okay. That's fantastic. Got a Zoom tonight. Great. I love it. I see you guys are out there getting it done. Fantastic. Well, if that is not you, if you are maybe just kind of getting around to it, whoa, 100? Seriously? That's incredible. Susie, will you come do a training? Wow. All right. So this is fantastic, you guys. I'm actually really excited to see those numbers. But listen, don't feel ashamed if you are nowhere near those numbers. That is admirable. And honestly, Susie, send me an email, please. I want to know what you're doing. Because if it's working, we need to be sharing it with the community. Anyway, so no matter how many you have shared with since convention, and maybe Susie, this is going to be really important for you, what we talk about here today, because the work that you've put in needs to be something it's going to be something you need to preserve, right? You put that kind of work in, it's going to be really important that you are on top of what it means to follow it through to fruition, right? Oh, just sharing, not new customers. Got you. Yeah. So that's fine. You're sharing. Those are potential new customers. 100 potential new customers. Y'all put your hands up if that is a number of potential new customers you would like to have. Right? That's good. This is all very good. Okay. So if I asked you, so if we're being honest with ourselves, whether it was one person, 10 to 15 people, congratulations, knocking it out of the park at 100. If I asked you to double or triple the number of people that you have shared with since convention, would you feel confident in being able to approach that number of people, to follow up with that number of people? What would that feel like? So let's talk about conversations that convert. Now, I should preface this with, when you're excited and you're just getting out there, especially if you are someone who it maybe has a natural or learned grasp of influence, then sharing is something that might come fairly naturally to you, right? And in those cases, and where we have existing trust with people, it can be quite easy to share without knowing what you're doing. Right? How many of us have actually signed up customers feeling like we really didn't know what we were doing, but we did it, we got it done, right? I feel like that's probably the case for at least your first 1, 2, 3, right? All right. So I want to preface by saying there's no one right way, but there is an optimal way, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay? All right. So the conversations that convert to sharing are those that are first and foremost, they're friendly, right? And they're authentic to who you are. So when you are sort of mentally preparing yourself for being able to go out into the world and share Young Living, you first need to know that if you aren't being yourself, especially around the people that know you, you're not going to get it done, right? And if we're too focused on being a salesperson, and we're not just showing up and being a friend first, then we're also probably not going to get it done, right? Another thing that we need to keep in mind is that the conversations that are going to bring you results are going to be question focused. Maybe think about, like, you know, think about yourself as maybe your favorite journalist. You are interviewing this person. Now, obviously you want to be a lot more, you know, friendly and cordial and casual than, you know, Hoda Kotb interviewing somebody, right? But you want to make sure that you are showing up first, interested in the other person. You are not there to tell them about the Deep Spectra product line. You are not there to tell them about all of the awesome new sleep supplements. You are not there to tell them about how they can get, a cute little owl diffuser this month if they put in a 300 PV order. Okay. None of those things matter to them. What matters to them is that you care enough about them to hear them. So you want to create a circumstance in the conversations that you're having where you are guiding the conversation with questions. Now, we all know that not every conversation is going to lead to a point where it bears fruit in the direction of Young Living. It may just be that you're friends with this person, and that's completely okay. But you're never going to know if you don't ask questions. Just remember that what you're doing, your goal in the conversations that you're having, is not trying to jump the gun and make it about what you want. We're not making this about your business. Your business grows by making your conversations about the person you're speaking with. Okay? And in order for that to really work, your intention, what you're going into this thinking, feeling, wanting, is absolutely everything. And this is what you need to go in thinking. I have been blessed with a gift. That gift is life-changing products, a supportive community that can help me understand how to integrate them into my life, and an opportunity to take that experience and change the world for the better. Maybe take a screenshot of this. Maybe write this down and use it as some kind of an affirmation. Read it and remind yourself before you sit down and you start speaking to people. This is the perspective that you're coming from. I've been blessed with these things. How can I go and show up in the world and be of service today? How can I go make someone's life better today? This is the perspective I've coming from. How can I show up and be of service? Now, our job is to have as many of these authentic, care-focused conversations we possibly can. And there's a solid chance that you decided that sharing Young Living was for you because this is just who you are anyway, aren't you? Right? Are you a carer? Are you a yellow personality? Are you somebody who wants, like, you see somebody that needs help and you're just going to help. You're just going to help. That's who you are. You're a helper. You're a carer. Solid chance that's why you're here. So our job is easy. We get to go be who we are. We just have to manage ourselves effectively, right? So your job is to have as many of these conversations as possible and to listen more than you speak. People will want to hear what you have to say if you make sure you hear them twice as much first. And for you to understand what it looks like when it is your turn to offer help, right? Your job is to have as many of these conversations as possible, to listen more than you speak, and to know what it looks like when it's your turn. When it's your turn to offer help, to offer a solution, right? Because we can't simply go in and say, hey, I'm here to help you with this, if they haven't even said that that's the thing that they need help with. Even if we know what their problem is before they can articulate it, we can't jump in and say, here's your problem, here's the solution, right? Until they can say, here's what my problem is. We can't give them a solution. We need to know what it looks like, right? So remember, at the end of the day, we are networking. This is network marketing, right? So what we're doing in our effort to go out and have as many of these conversations as possible is to adopt that mindset that we've just talked about. Know that our goal is to have as many conversations as possible, to listen more than we speak, and then to understand what it looks like to offer help when that opportunity appears. How we get there is to focus on just nurturing the people that are in our network. Again, this is probably who you are already. I'm asking you to expand that, right? So the people in your network are already there, your friends, your family, your colleagues. You're going to have more of those, and it's going to be fulfilling and fun for you, right? Enjoy connecting with these people. Get to know what's going on in their lives. Choose to be someone who is a solutions-oriented, positive force in their lives. not one that is guiding them toward purchasing products, but someone who is guiding them toward the decisions that will help them overcome their struggles, have a better life, etc. And some of those decisions will be purchasing Young Living product, obviously. But if that's the only thing you're going in for, good luck having people keep listening to you, right? So since we know that this is network marketing and we're going to be presenting or marketing those opportunities to serve where they appear, we need to grow our network so we always have an abundance of people who may be ready to be offered help. So grow your network. Always be looking for ways to connect with people, to find people who are looking to make positive changes. When you're intentionally growing your network, I want you to think about a deck of cards, right? And we're looking for face cards. Face cards, that's aces, queens, kings, jacks. We're looking for people who want to live a certain way. They want to adopt a certain stature. We're not looking for the people who are throwing barbs in comment sections and making, negative commentary and engaging with the lowest common denominator. We want to expand our network to be surrounded by people who are choosing to live intentionally and who are solutions oriented as we are. You're going to have a more fulfilling time growing your business if you choose this focus, and you will be able to see success a lot more quickly. If someone has a severe mindset deficiency, you are going to work uphill, backwards in the mud, trying to get someone to see a better version of themselves, right? Do yourself a favor as you're growing your network, try to focus on connecting with people who are positive leaning, right? People who are engaging in positive, productive ways, engaging in positive, productive activities. It's going to be more fulfilling for you and it'll be more fruitful for your business. Now, as you're engaging with the friends you have and the friends that you are gaining, you got to remember that network is the first descriptor of what we do, not marketing. Network, right? Networking means showing up and being a good friend first. It means being a social connector, right? So the opportunity that you're ultimately going to be looking for is going to come from being of service first, right? Help others get what they need and you'll get what you want as well. So you never know when you meet somebody or you're catching up with somebody what that person is looking for until you ask. So we can't walk around assuming. We got to go get to know people better. We got to go out there and ask questions. Don't just engage in the news feeds, get into the DMs. Just actually seek conversations with people, get to know them better. And then as you're getting to know someone better, ask more questions, ask more questions, ask more questions. Be someone who is curious. It will serve you because when someone experiences your curiosity about them, it is one of the most fulfilling things that they can feel as a human. Your captivation and interest in them and their humanity and their interests and who they are is something, it's a gift. It's something that is priceless that you can give to them. It's just your presence. So give that. It's free. Give that to them. And there will be receptivity that comes as a result. That doesn't necessarily mean that sharing is going to be something that can happen right away, but you are putting good work out there into the world. You're doing something that's fulfilling. And yeah, this kind of thing does eventually bear fruit in the direction of growth for your business. And if you're looking for things to talk about, if you're unsure of how to approach a conversation with somebody, always remember Ford. Talk about family, kids, spouses, etc., their occupation, what is it that they do, what do they do for fun, recreation, and then finally dreams and goals, which when you get to a level of communicating with this person to where you can discuss dreams and goals, you'll find that you will find your way to sharing quite quickly, because this is where people start to tell you what they really want and why it's been hard for them to get it, right? Now, I want to talk to you about what it looks like to discover opportunity in a conversation, right? Because remember, we are going in with the intention of being of service, of being a good friend, of getting to know somebody, and understanding that that day, in the 30 minutes that you might spend in conversation with that particular person, that might not naturally lead to a let's talk about Young Living opportunity. And I want you to honor that, because this is a long game, right? You don't want to run somebody off and give them the feeling that you're some kind of an opportunist because you needed to jump the gun, right? So we want to look for something that I like to call the point of disclosure. This is the point at which someone has disclosed or shared with you information that they probably aren't just putting out into the world, right? This is something you have built trust and confidence, and they've shared something with you that is personal. Sometimes this might be something that's very painful, right? This might be something very difficult for this person. This can be very sensitive, right? And you want to honor that. It can be something a lot more lighthearted as well, obviously, but this is something that is sacred, right? This is a point at which someone has trusted you enough to share something personal with you. So let's talk about this. So after trust is built in a conversation, and remember, with some people, you're not going to get to this point. It might be because there's just not the chemistry there. It might be that you're kind of giving, the wrong energy, or maybe theirs is off today, whatever it is, it's okay, right? You're looking for people who are your people right now, and you're sifting that deck of cards. You flip through a deck of cards, and there's only so many of those face cards in there, right? You're flipping past the 2s and the 8s and the 4s and the 6s until you get to one of those face cards. And it's okay. This is a filtering game. It is a numbers game where it comes to finding opportunity. But in the meantime, you're going to make fabulous friends and develop an incredible network. And the point of disclosure does not happen with every single person that you speak with. It will happen more often the better you get at asking great questions and being a good conversationalist. But just remember, it doesn't always happen. You're just looking for it. So the person, your friend at this point, is going to share a struggle with you, or a goal with you, or some other kind of information, revealing a problem to you that they probably already know that they can't solve on their own, that they've been struggling with, or that, maybe they would appreciate some accountability on. Maybe they recognize you as being someone who has knowledge, right? This is why we brand ourselves, have our website, have a blog, etc. Maybe they've been noticing the things that you're doing, and they see that you help solve problems like that. Maybe they are reaching that point even more quickly because they already see that you are somebody who's out there leading conversations about things that matter to them. So this person is going to disclose to you a goal, a struggle, a problem that they have not been able to figure out. And I want you to be present when you see this happening, when you see this unfolding. Close your mouth and use your 2 ears. Listen twice as much as you speak. Listen closely. You are not about to jump into sharing here, even if you know exactly the product that you want to tell them, all right? Unless they've specifically said, I noticed you saying you help people with problems like this. What would that look like to work with you? Unless they say something like that to you, shut your mouth and listen. Just listen and empathize and be present and take your notes. Now, this is especially important if you are somebody who's maybe newer to all this and you don't really feel like you're well equipped to, to elucidate on certain topics. You don't feel like you know enough about how frankincense works to be able to say that that's the thing, or maybe you're not quite sure. Maybe it's frankincense, but maybe it's citronella or whatever. You want to just be present. Don't think about what you're going to do next. Just be there for them. Okay? And take your notes, because you're going to use those after you leave that, time that you're with that person today. You're going to go and you're going to gather meaningful information that you can take them to and offer to them. at a later point. Okay. So just be present when you see this happening. And listen, if again, if they didn't specifically ask for your help, wait, give it 24 hours, give it 48 hours. Don't wait too long, right? Because, you know, we want to make sure that the energy we're picking up where we left off, right? So wait a day or so, come back to offer help after a day or so. And in the meantime, go do your research, grab some notes, and come back prepared with the links, with the information, etc. And maybe coming back, having a third party. Maybe it's cross team, maybe it's an upline, maybe it's somebody whose testimony might be really valuable to them. Maybe you've asked that person if they might be willing to be introduced to your friend, right? So you might be able to bring in some kind of third party validation, whatever that looks like for you. This point of disclosure happens. Honor that energy that that person is sharing with you, that trust that that person is sharing with you, and just be present. If they ask for your help in that moment, you can move forward. If they don't, just empathize, just be present. Okay. Then you're going to walk away. You're going to grab your notes. Okay. So when you come back a couple of days later, a day later, you say, you know, I've been thinking about what you told me yesterday, or I've been thinking about what you told me the other day. And then you share a story or a testimonial if it's helpful or relevant, right? So maybe this person shared with you that, you know, ever since, you know, they hit 30, they have been feeling sluggish and they're struggling with sleep. And, you know, they feel like they just can't get a restful night's sleep. And all of these downstream things are happening too, etc. Right? And maybe that happened to you. And maybe, you know, you did the 14-day reset, or maybe you do your shot of Ningxia every day, you diffuse lavender every night, and you take, you know, the new deep rest supplement or the sleep essence or something like that, right? Maybe this is your story. Maybe it's someone else's story. This is why you don't try to just jump in, right? You go and you find something that's relevant. And it really needs to speak as close to what they're dealing with as possible, where you could basically say, you know, I've been thinking about what you said. I actually have a friend who dealt with something similar and was able to ... right? You need to insert whatever that looks like here. I was able to, or my friend was able to, you know, start sleeping through the night after doing a few things, right? Like, you know, changing a couple of habits and taking a couple of specific supplements. And then you offer to share that information, right? So you don't say everything. You don't dump it all out and say, they took this, they took that, you know, here are the notes, here are the everything. You say, I've been thinking about what you told me the other day. I have a friend who dealt with something similar. And, you know, after 3 weeks and taking a couple of supplements with a couple of tweaks in her nighttime routine, you know, she was able to start sleeping through the night again. Would you be interested in getting some more information about that protocol? Right? Does that make sense? Then you're offering to share your notes here. If it's yours, great. If it's someone else's, great. It doesn't matter. I've been thinking about what you had to say the other day. I know a story. It's mine or it's someone else's. This person was able to get these results in this period of time. Is that something you'd like to hear more about? They're going to say yes, right? But give them the space to say no, if that is what it is, right? Give them the space to say yes or no. Most are going to say yes. Now, ideally, if they say yes, you're going to say, hey, awesome. How about we sit down and chat about this, right? Like it's a lot easier to show than tell, right? So ideally, you want to try to sit down with this person in person. Like, let's grab a coffee. Otherwise, say, hey, when do you have 30 minutes to sit down? It's a little easier to show than tell, you know, or maybe I can have my friend on the call with me, right? Whatever that looks like. When do you have 30 minutes? If they've got 30 minutes right now and you do too, and they say, I can do it right now, then go for it. That's awesome. But whatever you do, don't just dump information. Don't dump an infographic. Don't dump a bunch of links. Don't a wish list, Young Living link, whatever. Don't drop links. Get into a call or in person so that you can demonstrate, so that you can be there, right? You give someone a link and they can go fall down rabbit holes outside of your control, right? Don't drop links. So try to keep continuity with your initial conversation, meaning you're staying on topic with the goals that they have, that they've shared with you, right? And I want you to be there as they're evaluating their choices. Again, we're not dropping links and hoping that somebody chooses the right thing. We need to be there as they are making that choice. And remember, as you're doing all of this, you only know what you know. And that's totally okay. You don't need to be a product expert to help this person. You're just sharing something that you know worked for someone else. You're just sharing something that you know worked for you. You would be happy to connect them with the resources that you consult when you come upon new problems to solve. We want them to be empowered. They don't need a doctor. You're not the doctor. They need to put that hat on themselves, and you're happy to show them where those hats are hanging up. So listen, being a know-it-all does not duplicate. So it's okay to just know what you know. You have enough right now to get them started. The resources that got you here today are enough to get them started. And from there, you are empowering them on their own journey. So now you know what these conversations look like. I want you to start 5 of them every day. These are not your customers. 5 new conversations with people that you haven't shared with. Start initiating those. I am being present with you. I am chatting with you. I am building rapport and trust in the hopes that you would trust me enough to help me solve the problems that you haven't shared with me yet. Do that 5 people a day, every day, and maintain those conversations. And of course, with your existing customers, you need to be having conversations just like these. If your existing customers, if you don't have, like for your personals or the ones that you're serving who don't have someone who's an active upline, you need to be having conversations with your customers as well. Because if they're not, spending 300 PV a month solving all the problems in their family and in their home with Young Living product, you probably haven't had enough conversation with them yet. Right? So you need to be having these conversations with your people once they've started purchasing as well. So keep these going. And listen, at every stage, this is how you make this manageable. At every stage of the process, update your notes and to-dos for yourself in your contact manager in GetOiling. That is how you make this work. And listen, you can do this with every level of GetOiling. The plans that start at $9 a month, $19 a month, and on up. Every single level of product we have with GetOiling has this contact manager that you can use to do this absolute most critical thing that your brand partner business needs, which is you having those conversations and dumping that information out of the DMs and your head into an organized place so that when it's time for you to follow up on it, you don't have to do a bunch of prep. It's right there in front of your face because you just took a couple of seconds to put those things in for you to reference in the future. Right? Use your GetOiling contact manager to allow yourself to expand the volume of conversations that you're having and to make sure that you are not dropping the ball with a single person. These meaningful conversations that lead to a point of disclosure, you could be juggling 100 of these at a time. And before that, before you gasp and go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do that. When you're taking notes, all you need to do is pop into your GetOiling and see who needs to be followed up with today. Take a quick look at the notes that you left yourself last time, and then go send a new message. You can do this with 100 people at a time. You could do this with 1,000 people at a time if you've got the system in place. And it all starts with just reaching out to 5 new people a day to start these conversations. That's it. So when you do this, you keep these notes, you're always on top of these conversations, and you don't have to be overwhelmed with the details, and you don't have to drop the ball because you got overwhelmed with the details and you were trying to do too much as one brain with no enhancements, right? Which is GetOiling is an enhancement for your brain. How about that? So if you keep filling your pipeline with these 5 new conversations a day within 90 days, I'm telling you, you're going to be enrolling multiple customers every single week. And what would that do for you? If you were enrolling multiple new customers reliably every single week, and you're keeping these conversations going that get people excited to max out those monthly rewards and to solve all the problems in their home with a Young Living suite of products, what would that do for your business? If I told you all you needed to do is go start 5 new conversations today and tomorrow and the next day, and just make sure that you are staying on top of those by putting your notes in and giving yourself a reminder to follow up with that person in 24 to 48 hours. And you're doing that with each of these people, and your system is going to tell you who you need to follow up with today. You don't have to think about who you need to follow up with today. You don't need to go scroll Facebook to see who's who, who's what, and who do I need to send a message to. All you have to do is do what you've got yourself set up to do in your system. What would it do for you if you could enroll reliably 2, 3, 4 new customers every single week, right? Who's ready to grow? I'm really excited for you guys. I see this exactly what you've been needing to not drop the ball. Fantastic. Well, let's get into it. Oh, hey, speaking of this sweet smell of success, who wants to know who the rose oil winner is? Haha, we're so excited to have you here. Congratulations, Jessica McClure. Jessica, if you're here on the call, will you pop your hand up? I would love to. Actually, I'm going to lower all hands first. Oh, is that you? Hey, it just says Zoom user. Hey, you can unmute yourself.
Hey,
Hey,
it's Jessica here.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. This has been really, really helpful. I've taken copious notes and I'm really excited to plug all of the people into the system and be able to just show them lots of love with all the follow-up. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll be getting in touch with you about shipping addresses and everything to get the oil to you. And yeah, you guys, big congrats to Jessica. And you actually just got started with GetOiling, right?
Yeah, like I think a few days ago.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Well, I love it. And we certainly look forward to helping you and your team. Yeah, just reach out if you ever need any help. We're really glad to have you a part of the community, and of course, to get you this sweet little bottle of oil.
So much.
All right. It's always so much fun. So let's go ahead and get into our live help and Q&A for today. I'm really interested to see if you guys have any questions about what the sort of the follow-up sequence there looks like. And then I do also have Michelle, if you're here on the call. Let me see. I don't know if you might be in here under another name, but I have a Michelle down for a live work review today. Maybe pop into the chat and let me know that it's you. Okay, you're here with a different name. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna bring you out to chat. Hi, how can we help?
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is actually about Pinterest. Is that okay to
Oh, yeah.
talk about it during Pinterest topic time?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, so I know that Pinterest is my next move, and I watched your guys's replay of that, took tons of notes. It was great, and the handout that had like 2 links on it to enable rich pins and something else. I did go to those, but the language that's used for a non-website type person that doesn't deal with this all the time, even those instructions were really tough for me to figure out how to create rich pins, where to put it in my website. It said things like open graph and schema.org, and I just don't know what those are.
Understood. It's so Pinterest is when you start getting into the and just so you guys know what I'm doing here is I've gone into the Success Academy, going into live training and replays because this was a weekly work session. I'm typing in Pinterest, and this is how you can actually find what we are referring to here. So this is probably the one that you saw, the most recent one here.
Yep.
All right, let me grab this sheet that you are talking about. Okay, here we go. Today's checklist. All right, that's what we're looking for. Okay, so is this where you were saying this was the?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So claiming your
Perfect.
website
So
on
I did.
Pinterest and allowing rich pens. Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I did that claiming my website on Pinterest. I think I did that and it was successful, but I'm again not sure. I think it kind of showed up in a like some HTML thing down in one of my pages. So I think that worked, but I'm not sure about, I don't know how to do the rich pins.
Thank you. Yeah. So, mm, okay. So this is Pinterest's own sort of article on rich pens, but I think we also talk about, here we go. Oh, this is the save it button, right? So, and I think I actually demoed this on that call. There's two things that you can do here. One of them I don't necessarily recommend for a few reasons, and I'll show you. I'll show you. It kind of gets, it can get a little goofy where like the pin shows up on everything. And that's the, so you see where, so the save is right here. Like it's kind of distracting how like the save shows up on everything on the website. So that's one of the options. And that's to actually take the code from the rich pins thing that you get from Pinterest and actually putting that like site wide. And I believe that's under customize my site. And it's over I think it's like the advanced options. Yeah, so like it's this guy right here where you pop the script in right here. This is the easiest way to enable like just automatically making everything pinnable on your site, but this also means that literally every image is pinnable and has that little save button, which I personally find to be a little distracting. So my recommendation would be to actually put those rich pins on your individual blog posts. Let me see, I think we might have actually demonstrated that in that training as well. Let me go see. Yeah, so that's going to be down here under the custom HTML tags. And Greg, that's right, right?
Yeah, any of the rich pin stuff that on a per post basis would go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
my
for every
recommendation,
blog,
yeah.
oh, sorry. So for every separate blog post I write, I would need to put that code in this HTML custom HTML tag.
So what I would do to save a boatload of time, and this is something that we actually we've talked about to some degree. You can actually you can save a blog post that isn't published, for instance, and use that as a template to duplicate over and over again. So like this is an example of one actually from a blog post branding training that we did fairly recently, where I've got all of the formatting, the image size, I've got everything exactly as I want it. And I would also, in this case, put that tag in here. And then basically what you're doing is every time you want to create a new blog post, just duplicate your template one. And then you're basically preserving that exact same formatting for every post that you have. The calls to actions, the links, everything is there. You're just going to be going in and swapping out the, the images, etc. And so then you don't have to remember to put that that code in every time you create a post.
That's smart. Hey, can you show me again the last tab you were on in Pinterest, the create rich pins? Because I did not see that one where.
Yeah, so this is it's this one right here.
Yeah, I went there. Keep going forward where you just went. I went there. And then where did you click on to get the next? thing you showed.
Yeah, so this, so when you click this one right here, this is going to take you to a GetOiling help article about Pinterest. And it actually, has some training on it. And it shows you, this is where you could go to apply them across your entire website. My recommendation is to actually just take, and this is the script here. And the instructions are here. I would follow what it says down here at the bottom. So you would put that down here under the custom HTML tags in that blog post, but make it like a template blog post that's unpublished, so that you can just make copies of that every time you need to create a post, and it's got all of that formatting and everything preserved as well to save you time.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we've got great questions today. Okay, hold on just a second. All right, Krishanda, I want to forward one of my domains to one of our landing pages. Do you guys support masking? That would be ideal, but I know not everyone does. Greg? I don't know how to answer. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. The masking question. I mean, so masking is, we don't really offer forwarding services. So if you're going to do masking, I'm only really aware of GoDaddy that does that. There's a couple downsides. Number one, they don't install security certificates on that domain, so that people will get these security warnings or some people will get the security warnings when they visit your site. It's better to just do a forwarding site versus the masking. I know. So for those of you who are not familiar with that, you can do, typically there's two types of domain forwarding. So like say you've got your main domain and you buy a secondary domain, you can set up a secondary domain to forward to a page on your main site, your main domain name. And you can do that either like a normal forward, which is just the URL changes in the address bar from whatever the domain was to your main domain. Or you can do this masking thing, which keeps the old domain in the address bar, but has the downside of there's usually a security error and it's not mobile friendly, are the two main downsides. So I usually recommend not doing that. You can forward domains if you want to, that's totally up to you. But if you want to try that masking, you can certainly try it out. But I just recommend doing the main or the regular forwarding instead of the masking.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Kay's question, can we put an unsubscribe to the bottom of our emails? That is actually built into your GetOiling system. So let me come over here under your contact settings here. When you send out a campaign message, or if you send out a broadcast to a number of people, you're going to have a sort of footer to your message. You can see under general settings here. Here we go. This custom email footer. And you can read a little bit more about this. It is very important that you keep it. I would not make alterations to this unless you feel very confident that you are remaining compliant with spam and opt-out regulations. But essentially what this is doing here is it's offering the opportunity to opt out of bulk messages from you, period. Right? So any message that's going out to more than one person as a broadcast or a campaign that is applied, if someone clicks that, they are opted out of all of that. They're still in your contacts. It'll show that they've opted out of email. Now, if you are maybe sending, for instance, the last few weeks while we were still running the convention aroma sharing specials, that was a campaign, right? And so that was going out to everyone, and there were messages, or there was like a line of text that I included in every one of those messages that said, hey, by the way, we're going to be sending out more of these. If you would like to keep receiving email from us, but maybe not these emails or these texts, then click here and it'll remove you from the campaign. That's a separate thing. And I actually created an automation that removed the contact who clicked that link from that campaign. So you wouldn't receive the campaign messages anymore, but you would still get our email on Mondays about the weekly work session, for instance. So there are multiple ways to do this, managing those opt-outs. But the one that does go out at the bottom of your email is CAN-SPAN compliant, but it does opt them out completely from bulk emails from you. William asked to explain the reasons for using rich pins. So we talk a little bit about that in the training that we referenced earlier, but I wanted to actually show you why you would want to use a rich pin. So this is a blog. It's not a real brand partner blog. It is a dummy blog that we use. But this is one for our Jane, who in this post is talking about hair, skin, and nails. Now, you can see if we hover over this image, there is a save button right here. And if we click it, it's actually opening a new window for me. But if we save and open this, if we click save, it's going to open a window in our Pinterest account where this gets saved to one of our boards. Now, Pinterest boards, Pinterest is a social network where you could just basically collect information and inspiration about things. Definitely worth learning a little bit more about if it's something where you feel like your ideal people are spending time. But essentially, it allows you to save this, maybe for later, for reference, for inspiration, whatever. But most people's boards are public. And this means that like whatever somebody has saved, if somebody likes their style and they go browse their board, they get exposed to ideas through them. So you have the opportunity to take advantage of sort of the virality or the potential for virality that these social platforms offer. And to be able to do that on an evergreen basis, because somebody could have pinned something 2 years ago and it's going to deliver consistent traffic. And it's quite different from, say, someone shared something on Instagram that's going to have a half-life of like maybe half a week, right? So it is a really interesting strategy to use if you are utilizing your blog. It affords you the ability to get greater visibility. And it also has a pretty significant SEO impact as well. So you're actually able to get more organic search traffic based on the terms that you are using, for instance, in like the title of your post and the the quality or content of your image there. Okay, let me see. Okay, Cynthia, it looks like, okay, so you signed up for the brand launch basics, which is awesome. I hope that you have got that on the calendar. That's going to help you get started with your website fully done. Where it comes to getting getting the ball moving for you to qualify for Bali, that's really going to have a lot to do with how you engage in these conversations we've been talking about today, right? And having lots of those conversations and pursuing more of that opportunity to get Young Living in front of more people. And we're here to encourage and support you. I would actually really encourage anyone who is actively sharing right now, if you wanted to maybe have a little accountability group, maybe on WhatsApp, or if somebody has something like that in a vault right now, that would be a really cool thing to engage with. But I would just make sure, Cynthia, that you're getting out there every day. You're having 5 of these conversations with people you've never shared with before. And maybe if you've got existing customers, you're making a point of initiating conversations with them as well, getting them on this track, not just assuming that because they're buying, they are as well served as they can be, right? Until they are doing this thing that we're talking about today and getting out there and sharing in the same way that you are, they probably need a little bit more nurturing, right? They probably need a little bit more support. All right, let's see. Mandy says, I'm a newbie having trouble responding to a friend who's interested in Young Living. She's in the welcome campaign right now. I'm having trouble responding to her. I'm concerned I'll miss the opportunity. So, when someone connects with your GetOiling system, in this case, she's receiving the welcome campaign, which is great. Those are messages that are going out from GetOiling on your behalf, right? So your GetOiling system is sending them on behalf with whatever email address that you have signed up in your contact info for your account. Okay, so when that person responds to one of those messages, it's going to go to your inbox wherever that is, right? So if you have that set up with us and we've gotten you connected with your custom email address, then maybe you're receiving that through the Apple Mail or Outlook or whatever, maybe forwarded to Gmail. So whatever that email address is that GetOiling is sending on your behalf from, that's where they're going to respond, right? So when you respond to her, that's what that looks like. Now, if it's text, that's two-way texting. from inside of GetOiling, right? So if it's going out to her via text, you can actually just go up into chat and send her a message, and you guys can just kind of go back and forth, just like you would if you were actually texting back and forth from your phone to theirs. So the messages that are going out, you are going to see from your contact manager. So what messages has that person been sent? Have they clicked and opened them? But anything, again, that they might respond to, like hit reply and respond, that's going to go to your email. Okay, Patty says, newbie question, curious to know if the Life Steps app is owned and supported by Young Living. Can we point to the wellness assessment from an external webpage? So I know a lot of people who use GetOiling do use Life Steps. I don't believe, because we're not Life Steps, we are a completely separate company, but a lot of folks who, again, use GetOiling do use Life Steps as well. I think that there are ways to point to the wellness assessment, you know, so you could link to it from a page in your GetOiling account or from an email that you send out from GetOiling. In terms of ownership, I can't really speak to that. I don't believe that Young Living owns it, but I do believe that they have some kind of a contract because there's some VO connection there. Hope that that helps. Let's see. Okay, in the blog settings under SEO, can you just reuse a couple lines from the automated excerpt, or does it need to be new and unique? So under the, so what that is a meta description. I'm saying Tara because I see your name here. I know you're Michelle. So we've actually done training on SEO. Highly recommend, if that's what you're getting into, that you take a look at the more recent trainings that we've done on SEO. But essentially what you're doing there, when you search for something and you go to Google, there's the title of the page, and then there's something that is in smaller text, and it's a little bit of context, right? That's the meta description of the content of the page. So yes, could you use AI to come up with an excerpt for that? Yes, but I would definitely consider watching the SEO training just for a little bit more context there, because that's what's going to help someone decide that this is the article they want to click on, right? And you might actually do a better job of explaining that than AI in a lot of cases. Okay, you're finally getting all that connected. Set it up to my email soon. Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, you got the brand lunch essentials too. Fantastic, you guys. Fantastic. So many great questions today. Let me see. Okay. Or is that all of them? Yeah, if you guys have any more, last call for those. So many excellent questions today. Let us know what you would like to learn about next. Is it, you know, are we chasing blog content? Do we want accountability? How many of us, just let me know, for those of you who are here, how many of you feel like you have access to an accountability partner that you can run with? Right? Do you feel like you have somebody, or would you benefit from maybe having a group where you are sharing your accountability on an ongoing basis? 5 a day. If I could show you a trick real quick, there is something you can do in your system, and it can be an accountability partner for you. And what that is, if you have it set up, is this little guy right up here in the corner. It's your digital upline coach. So based on the number of hours that you have available, the minimum actually is going to tell you that you need to reach out to 5 people a week. So if you do have your digital upline coach set up, and that's also going to be down, where is that going to be? Where do we keep the digital upline coach in our settings? I forgot where that went.
Either my account in the bottom.
Oh, there, I'm actually not even seeing it because of there we go. So under settings, under my account, or sorry, digital upline coach under my account. This is where you're going to want to go if you haven't done this yet. You pick your hours per week. I would err on the lower side, like be really real with yourself about how many hours you actually are willing to spend in a very dedicated, focused sense on your income producing activities. So maybe that's 10 hours a week. Whether or not you are just starting to grow your team, or you have someone who's growing with you as a brand partner, there will be some slight modifications for activity recommendations here. Choose the coach that you want. They're all going to tell you to do the same thing. They're just going to have, you know, a sassy attitude, or, you know, give you something a little bit more straightforward. So pick your coach, and then you can just go about your business using GetOiling. Of course, again, what I want you to focus on is starting 5 new conversations. So our coaching tasks here are going to be, you know, our goal is we're working toward having a, you know, sharing. That's what this is. Hold a 2-on-1 or 1-on-1 presentation in person or on Zoom. Now, if we know that we aren't, you know, getting a ton of credit for each time we just show up and start having a conversation, we know that we need to be having as many of these as possible to move our percentages forward. Then we know that we, you know, maybe need to, instead of just engage in one conversation at a time, because there are DMs and text messages and technology lets us do this, maybe we are initiating, you know, 5 conversations a day, maybe more. And we're keeping those going until we get to that point where today I got 7, today I showed 2 people, you know, right? And invitations count, right? So call or text someone to invite them. So this is at that point of disclosure. You get 5 points when you say, hey, I've been thinking about what you said. Would you be interested in checking some information out? Give yourself credit for that. When they say yes and you show them, give themselves credit for that. Signing them up, that gives credit. Following up, that gives credit, right? So there are a ton of things that you can get points for. Don't get too in the weeds with it, but definitely utilize that. That's going to be sort of your quiet partner there in the background. And if you actually, stop my share too prematurely here, if you want to take this up a level, you can go over here to sharing, and you can choose to share and see the coaching progress of another person, and they don't have to be in your team. If you are a team leader and you want to run an accountability challenge, make sure that you're sending this out to all of your people that use GetOiling, because then what you're going to be able to see is who's been doing what, right? You're going to be able to see, it'll actually become a little pie chart of your team's progress, of, you know, the volume of invitations and showing and sharing, right? Follow-ups, all of that. That's all going to show up there. So highly recommend that you first plug in and use that to track your activity. And then, of course, if you want to connect with an accountability partner, go into our Facebook group and let everyone know that you would like to partner up with somebody. And I promise you, you're going to find way more than just one person. You're going to make a whole new group of friends, and you guys are going to go chase that Bali trip together. So we're really excited for you guys, and so grateful to be a part of. We're really grateful to be a part of your journey, right? And a part of your story, and how you're able to achieve the things that you want with your brand partner business. We will be back here again same time next week to do the same thing. Congratulations again to our Rose Oil winner. And we will see you guys back here same time next week. Take care, everybody.